WBO Super Bantamweight Champion of the World, Emanuel Navarrete, fought again recently and won, as the odds heavily suggested. He took out the hopelessly overmatched Uriel Lopez in the 6th round, though he did seem to get hurt a little bit, briefly, in the 5th, by a body shot, before immediately retaliating. Now, I think we all knew that the long-limbed Mexican was always going to go up in weight. Featherweight seems to be the plan, the logical step. But along with Shakur Stevenson, who has recently decided to ditch feather for super feather, I am not so hot on the idea. I don't see any real big names at 126 or 130 pounds. I don't see any real big money fights. But both guys seem to be charmed by the idea of becoming multiple weight world champions. But it's just not as prestigious as it used to be. There's so many weight categories, about 17, multiple champions. It just doesn't have the same oomph that it used to. And indeed, the list of people who are or who became multiple weight world champions is quite long now. I would much prefer it if Navarrete stayed at 122 pounds. He's still 25, is he not? If he's still able to and he's not too tight at the weight, stay there. Fight Murodjon Akhmadliev. Get both his belts, IBF and WBA. Fight countryman Ray Vargas. Get his WBC. Boom. I know easier said than done. I know there's a lot of politics. But in 2 fights, he could become undisputed. Very rare. For me, the prospect of becoming an undisputed champion at your weight, that's a lot more prestigious than becoming a multiple weight world champion. It's just so rare today. And if you become undisputed, it creates its own value. Get yourself on that top 10 pound for pound list and you can start making bucks that way. You can make Super Bantamweight the place to be. And of course, if he stays at 122 pounds, it keeps alive the possibility of the super fight between Navarrete and Naoya Inoue. I've looked at featherweight, I've looked at super featherweight. As I've said, I can't really see anyone there. A fight between Stevenson and Navarrete would actually be quite interesting. Both young, both undefeated, but not a lot of mega fights. I could understand it when people were bending over backwards to want to face Floyd Mayweather, of course, because you get loads of money. Canelo drained himself. Golovkin was putting up his hand saying, I'll go back down to 154 to fight him. I heard Bernard Hopkins say he wanted to fight Mayweather at some point. If you're standing to make a lot of money, sure, but I just don't see it at feather or super feather. What would you do if you were in charge of Navarrete's career? If you were to send him up in weight, who would you have him fight? For me, I say stay at 122 pounds, try and become undisputed, and then imagine how big a super fight would be against the monster.